Just one touch and I'm lost inside your love. Just one touch means more than words can say. Just one touch and I know I'm gonna stay for always. Gypsy Road.
All right. Welcome everybody to a Monday, to a Gypsy Road journey into the unknown. And today really is kind of a journey into the unknown, because the story of the main topic is basically, hold on, my fault. Okay, ghost of the Chinese culture, and one I found is the ghost of Tupu. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm not saying it correctly. And it's a very interesting story, and that's why I wanted to save it for this, because it's very interesting, because it's a story that I've never kind of heard of. It's like one of those stories where I know a lot of people, everybody knows the movie, of course, Braveheart. Of course, they all know, Braveheart's character, William Wallace. But, before that movie came out, let's be honest, nobody ever heard of William Wallace here in America.
No.
And even Mel Gibson said that when he took a trip to Scotland and he was looking at statues, he was like, William Wallace, who's this William Wallace guy? And that's where he got the story for the movie and all that. And in a lot of ways, this main topic could easily be into a movie, because it's a ghost story from a real life story from BC, back in the BC days. So I mean, it's very, 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 very interesting. So we will get to that story, because I'm excited to talk about it, because there's not, when you go to YouTube, right, and you type in the ghost of Tupu, I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong, Tupu, whatever, there's nothing. There is like nothing on this story, and there's a few stories. There's some in the Wikipedia, which I have up, and I'm hoping that maybe some people in the chat have heard of this, because it's an interesting story, and I'm surprised that it's not even made into a movie, unless there is a movie in China. It just hasn't made it here yet. I don't know, but when we get into it, what does this guy say? Braveheart is Robert the Bruce. Yes, that's actually true. The Braveheart name was never with William Wallace. Braveheart was considered with Robert the Bruce. But of course, well, I mean, in the movie Braveheart, they never really call William Wallace Braveheart. So you can still say that the title represents Robert the Bruce. I don't know if you guys know that same actor who played Robert the Bruce, they actually made a movie called Robert the Bruce.
Yeah.
With that same actor, and I watched it and I didn't like it. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was dumb. I was like, no, because Braveheart movie was such a classic. I thought it was going to be good because it had that same actor playing Robert the Bruce. Because I know,
that.
Yes,
the same actor
as their version of Robert the Bruce with the Star Trek guy who played Captain Kirk. I'm not saying that was good or not, but I was thinking with the original actor playing Robert the Bruce in this one movie, I thought, hey, maybe it'll be good. I was bored out of my mind. I was just, it was like, it didn't really give a more of explanation of his life. It was just like him running away from a few people that want to kill him. I'm like, I kind of wanted to hear more like a, not documentary, but more of Robert the Bruce's life. Kind of like Netflix, but just better. But it wasn't.
Well, Mel Gibson didn't film it. That's the problem. If Mel Gibson would have filmed it, it would have been badass. I like Mel Gibson. I like him as a person and a director. I think he's fucking great. I think he's turned Hollywood upside down. He's fucking assholes there. He's just having a rough time. Yeah. Before we get into our topics, you see this cool little drinking thing? What is that?
Hold on. Everybody's like, why are you showing this? Hold on. It lights up too.
Wait, it's a drink that lights up. Oh, I bet at the bottom it has batteries, right? Oh yeah,
it have
cool.
batteries. Well, we went through some boxes. I remember how well in a year how things have changed because exactly in 1 year ago I was at Star Wars Land at Disneyland, and this is a Star Wars drink where you could buy blue milk or green milk, and then you can light it up. If it's dark at night, you want to see your beer at night, you just turn the light on.
So you bought milk. They had a milk bar.
Well, it's supposed to be representing the milk in the Star Wars movie, blue or green, but it's not. It wasn't like really tasting like milk.
What did it taste like?
There's two flavors. I remember. Now this was a year ago. I remember one of the flavors was a little bit fruitier, kind of a
milk though.
And I remember the other one was more like a milkshake flavor.
Okay. Well, at least it's real milk. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And the only reason we kept it because I kind of like the light because you want to pour beer or something in here at night.
Yeah.
You gotta find your cup.
That's cool though. That's cool. A real milk bar. It's like Clockwork Orange. Clockwork Orange. They went to the milk bar. To drink milk. That's kind of badass. I'm gonna go to a bar and say I want a glass of fucking milk. Bring me a glass of milk now.
Well, since we're here and we got a lot of good people in the chat, Robert Alley's here, Seth Sullian's here, the Mystery Schoolers here, Tom Murr's here, Gano Ball's here, Tony's here, Zulu's here, Scott Morin's here, Haska's son, Kirk Polisari is here. We got a lot of good people. Kelly F.E. is here. Tonight, around 6:30 Pacific time, our friend Viz on the Walking Dead show. I'm not on this show, but he's got like 3 guests, and one of the guests is a famous makeup artist who did like makeup artist for the Jason movies, a horror movie. So he's got a good show tonight. Not just it is about The Walking Dead that came out over the weekend because it came back on TV.
Oh shit!
He's got a panel with this guy who made like special effects, and I can't remember the actor's name, but he made a documentary with the guy who played Jason about horror, about making horror, about the special effects and everything. So he's got some cool people on there. So I'm looking forward to that tonight. But
yeah,
go into one Mandela effect. I'm not going to do a Mandela effect mental illness thing today because I don't really have a story. But I wanted to keep it in a Chinese family here because we're talking about a Chinese ghost.
Yeah, but Chinese
story that was sent to me. So I wanted to find a Mandela effect that wasn't American. You know what I mean? I mean, because Mandela effect is just not America and UK. And I'm always like, what about the Asian countries? Since we're doing a China show, and this was sent to me by one of our people in the chat. Actually sent this to me. Let me see. Yeah. Well, this is about not exactly Chinese, but part of the Asian country, because it's always interesting about not Mandela effect, just not here in America, around the world, because things just don't happen here. If it only happens here, and if it doesn't happen around the world, then you're going to have to say Mandela effect is an American made up thing. That's why it's kind of fun looking outward. This is how do you pronounce that word? Tiananmen?
Tiananmen Square. Yeah, a lot of people already know about this one, but it's a classic.
And Tank Boy. So,
but a good.
Yeah. Following some of the many comments, the people recall Tank Boy being run over and perhaps killed. In September 2011, Angel said, I remember Tank Boy getting run over by the tank at Tiananmen Square. My husband doesn't. We Google it, and apparently he didn't get run over. I have a very vivid memory, though. I remember seeing a video of it. I remember learning this in the 7th grade, and it was kind of interesting. The reason why this interests me, because when you and I talked on Friday, we brought up Nelson Mandela itself.
Yeah.
That's where the name is after, and you said you remember seeing a video on TV watching with Dad, and I don't remember nothing. So it's it kind of shows you that even all stories that not everybody sees the same thing, or maybe we just weren't. Maybe some of us just weren't there at that moment in time in front of a TV to see it, because especially with Nelson Mandela back in those days, news wasn't 24 hours. You had CNN, but CNN really wasn't the CNN as it is today.
Yeah, there was no cable. Remember, there was no cable yet. It's like it was TV. So you had local programming. It was local television. Some places carried it. Most places didn't. In fact, Eric, because in England, Nelson Mandela's funeral, or the Tank Boy. Well, hold on, the Tank Boy thing in England, it wasn't even broadcasted. To show anybody getting run over, so they don't even know. They know about it from everybody else, but they don't even know it. Theirs is real obscure because they only have the one BBC, and they're limited on what they get. And so, United States on that one, Eric, was just like the local channel covered things, and it was like in between the dog show and the weather. So everything passed by fast. It's the same as the Tank Boy. Same thing.
Even if somebody got run over by a tank, doesn't matter what year or not.
Yeah,
it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see it in America, because it's not. Now, if somebody in America gets run over by a tank, that'll be around the world. But other countries, unless it's maybe the UK or something that like our big brother country, they probably won't even show it. Most people probably wouldn't even care.
They didn't show it. So if anybody in England says they saw somebody get run over in China by a tank, they're lying, because they did not show it in the BBC. BBC did not show anybody getting run over. They didn't show. They wrote about it. They talked about it, but they didn't show any footage of it. So nobody saw it over in Europe and England. Nobody. Only in the States they filmed it. They showed it for a short time, and then they took that off because it was gross. They're not going to show children on a fucking regular, they showed it on a late night movie channel, like a late night, because they wouldn't show it during the daytime because somebody's dying live on camera. So they stopped showing it. So a lot of people that said they saw it, well, they maybe saw it right when it first come out in the States, and then they had to stop it. You can't just show people dying on fucking camera on the news. So there's a little bit of a flaw on this one.
And most countries control the news, what people can see or not. I mean, it's part, you could call it, I don't know, brainwash or not. But even in America, they'll censor certain things, what they want you to see or not. Then you got like some side channel, like the Turkish news or something to say. But then what happens is when people say, well, that news came from Turkish news. It didn't come from, so it's not real. You know what I mean? I mean, like if you and I, you and I, Bob, say you and I, we were there. Yeah. We saw this. We filmed this. And you and I came on this show today and say we showed the world. People will call us crackheads. We don't know what we're saying or seeing. So they don't have to even really take the video down, because they can make it sound like this is Photoshop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and since we're not Fox or CNN, nobody cares.
Yeah. Now I'm not out here slamming it saying, oh, it didn't happen. I'm just telling you guys, we try to debunk first. Everyone knows how we do it on this channel. So if you've got the memory of it, relax. We have to play both sides. We got to be devil's advocate. I got to play both sides. Again, it did not show. Footage did not show in Europe, did not show in England. It did show in the States for a very short period of time. And then you had to watch late night news for it. And then even then they didn't show it. They'd block it out or whatever. So that's a rough one, but I know it happened. I remember it. So
it is, because we're talking about it, maybe more people will research it, check it out for themselves, saying, well, let me see what's real. Let me see what other people remember, because there's certain people out there that you could trust more than others. And you want, when you hear this news, like, let me see if this person, like an Art Bell. Art Bell's dead, I know that. But like if Art Bell's alive, let me see if Art Bell has ever talked about Tank Boy or or somebody else. And then you can kind of build your own residue and build your own, like, you know what? I trust these 5 people and they all have pretty good information. I'm gonna say it's real.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
For Halloween.
Earth 1969 says, I remember seeing it.
Very good. Very good.
Oh, here we go. Balloon says, I remember hearing the tank ran the guy over. You bastards, devils, advocates.
That's why we're here, man. That's why you guys can feel free to say it. If you've seen it, say you've seen it. That's why we're here. That's why we do it this way. We do the both sides thing so everybody has an opportunity to chime in on it. So I did hear about it. I did see the footage, and then then it just went away. Then you just didn't see it anymore. So it's kind of weird like that. Yeah.
And I'm just looking at they actually have this on Answers, where I guess people put in their 2 cents.
Yeah.
In Times Square, does the tank pass over the man? No, it didn't. Tank man is eventually carried away. So, like I said, there's different. You're always going to find for it and against it. I mean, that's just.
Yeah.
The tank man was a guy who stood in front of one of the tanks and blocked it from going into the rebellious crowd. So basically, this guy remembers a guy standing in front of it, but not get run over. After the tank, a man climbed down the tank, started moving, and he blocked the tank again. Later, some dudes hustled him off. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not here to debunk it. I'm just saying this is what. But you know what? Most people who believe he got run over are probably not the kind of people who are going to go over to this Answers website, and type in their 2 cents. It's just
they're not even going to allow it in there. They won't even, they ain't going to let that sit. So they're going to be like, oh no, take this one off, this post off. But yeah, I remember the buzz about it. I remember people talking about it. I remember everybody was disgusted with it. I remember everybody was mad at China over it. It was an old man. It wasn't even a boy. It was an older guy. I don't know why they call him a boy, Tank Boy. I think it was an older man. He was holding a plastic bag, like a plastic grocery bag, and he was climbing up on the tent or on the tank. And then he gets. I can't.
Balloon ask, what year was it? Let me see. Well, I know up here it says the protests were in 1989.
It's ironic because that's the same time that old Nelson Mandela had his funeral. It's just like a little time later.
Yeah, because the West Square and famous Beijing for student protests on June 4th, 1989.
Yeah, it's weird.
So, see, in 89, let me see, 89, that's when I was a freshman in high school. At that, when you're a freshman in high school, no offense, you didn't give a shit what's happening to other countries because, you're freshman in high school, you're just worrying about when's the next party.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a big fucking hoorah. I was 19. 19. No, 19. No, 19.
Dana Ball says, I don't remember him climbing on the tank. Yeah, me either.
There's different things now.
There's no way to go through life. That's true.
Old, fat, and stupid is what he's trying to say. Old, fat, and stupid is no way to go through life.
I've been I've been dieting a little bit. I've been doing tons of walking stuff. I've lost 15 pounds within 3 weeks. So I'm actually trying to get better fit myself because being at home so much more. I'm sorry, when you're bored at home, you eat more food. It's just nature. So now it's time to burn it off.
Yeah. I walk twice a day.
Slow burn. He died for his belief, and it's why we paid attention to it here in America, because why we need to fight communism.
Damn commies. Damn commies. No communism. Now we got back.
Oh, look! 1990 was also the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Holy shit! Thank you for sharing that. Yes,
wow.
You had the fall. That was yeah. Yeah. We had the Chinese students protesting, having a big old hoorah, the fall of the wall, and then a short time later, fucking the fascist Nazi dictator Nelson Mandela died. Supposedly, he didn't die. And then all kinds of wacky shit was happening continuously after that. Then we went right into the Iraq War. Yeah. We had Iraq 1, where they were in there taking all the artifacts from the museums, because they knew it was coming. The big shift was coming. It was smart.
Skater Ball was 12 in 89, and I was 16 in 89.
Yeah.
I was 343 down to 277. Thanks, COVID, keeping me home. Hey, even if you haven't, you can still work. The president's going right back to the White House to work. I'm not going to get into politics, but the difference between the president and everybody else, I don't care if you believe in COVID or not. If you're sick, the difference between them and us, like where a lot of people say, see, even they can get sick. I'm going to tell you guys something. The president's got the best doctors in the goddamn world. If he catches the flu, he's going to get better in 2-3 days because he got the best medicine, the best thing in the world. Us poor people, we get sick with the flu. Fuck it, we're dead. We don't get the best doctors. Shit, we can't even go see a doctor unless it's online.
Well, I know somebody in England who has it. They actually have it. I've seen 100%. I'm like, oh shit, you really got it. Our cousin, we had a cousin that passed away from it, and I know somebody in England actually has it. Now, it does exist. we don't want to go into detail, but I don't think it's at the extent they think it is. But yeah, somebody, I go, oh shit, you got it.
It's another fully. What's going to suck is right now is we're about to hit into really the flu season. So who knows what they're now what's going to happen is if you get this nizzles, oh my God, get away. He might have the regular flu, whatever strand of flu it is. There's thousands of flu strands. I'm not getting into political here. I'm just saying there's 1,000 of flu strands, and we're about to go into flu season because now you see, like, if you go to stores, free flu shot. So,
well, be preventative, man. I keep telling people it's as easy as putting pepper on your fucking dinners and lunches and breakfasts. Pepper, high vitamin C. You need vitamin C. You need some zinc. You need some vitamin D. You need lots of it.
Definitely vitamin C, because you get a lot less sun during this part of the year.
Yeah,
and you need that vitamin D if you don't get a lot of sun.
A lot of vitamin D, a lot of vitamin C, and it's as simple as putting pepper on your food, guys. Pepper is hot. That's why it's hot. Yeah. That's why it stings your. It's acidic. It's got high vitamin C. Just put pepper on your shit.
I don't even want to talk to flu. Who cares flu? We're gonna go straight into what the fuck news.
Welcome to What the Fuck News.
All right, now, my news story is probably not the craziest news story you're gonna hear. You probably already heard it on the news. But it's just so fucking interesting. I had to bring this up, okay? Now, this news does have something to do with NASA, okay? Now, this is not about if space is real or not real. This is real. Can we fly things in space or real? This is not about that. This is about what they're saying that they're going to be sending up to a space station, okay? Are you guys ready for this?
Yes. What is it?
All right.
What is it?
Okay. NASA is sending a $23 million toilet to space. And it's good news for female astronauts. Okay. So apparently, I guess the toilet systems they already have up there, I guess it's not good enough. So they had to build this $23 million toilet. Now, this is the picture of them working on this toilet. Now, female astronauts. Now, guys, this has actually been on CNN, Fox. This is on People's Magazine. So this is a story that's out there. Female astronauts will have an easier time going to the bathroom in space, thanks to a $23 million new toilet design that NASA is preparing to launch an International Space Station. Now, I want to ask you something. Now, $23 million for this machine. now, and makes it and designed to make it easier for the women. Now, I'm not here to say if the money's well spent, okay? Because now my toilet in my house is not in space. It's right here in the bathroom, right? It's in the bathroom. It's probably a $160 toilet, all right? And my wife uses the toilet. I use the toilet. Daughter, son, we all use the toilet, okay? Now, I'm not trying to get gross here, okay? Now, pee and shit goes down into the water and flushes away, right? Okay. A pee and shit goes down from your body parts. A woman sits on the toilet, she can go pee or shit. Okay. A man can sit on the toilet and go poop or pee, or a man can stand up and go pee. Now, a woman can't really stand up to go pee. So what I'm trying to get at is technically on a normal toilet, a man could be in two positions to go bathroom, standing or sitting. Where a woman sits, I know it sounds weird, but a woman sits 95%. I don't see a woman standing up peeing in it. So a $23 million toilet, I gotta know what makes it easier for the woman versus the man. Where I'm thinking, if I'm in space, I might need a better machine than the woman, because a lot of times as a man, you have to stand and pee, not just sit down. So Bob, have you heard about this $23 million toilet in space?
Well, I can tell you I worked on them. Remember at the Museum of Flight? I've worked on the toilets. I worked on, we had a toilet on the outside for an exhibit I worked with. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah, I worked on one of those guys. You know what that is, Eric?
Looks like
it's a $23 million vacuum. It's a $23 million vacuum. It's a vacuum.
Okay. But how's it easier for a woman where they need a better machine for them than a man? I mean, I'm just wondering. I'm curious because
a vacuum. I mean, okay, so this is theoretically people who don't, you're in a fucking tin can. Okay, so you're inside of a tin can, and the bathroom is, you got to step up into you got one step into the bathroom. It's basically a closet. It's as big as, like, say, one of your kitchen cabinets. That's how deep. So you shut the door, it's in your face. Next to you have Velcro, and you have these, like, plastic would cut like in the shape of stars. So it holds paper. So nothing's, now, theoretically, if this is real, there's zero gravity if it's all real. Zero gravity. So everything in there floats.
Yeah.
Everything in there floats. Every drop of your urine will float in there. Everything floats. So I played with the damn thing. It's a vacuum. It's literally a vacuum. You sit on it. You sit on the toilet. Basically, it has like a cup. You can put a cup up and over your groin area. Females will have it put over their genital area, and then they relieve themselves, and it vacuum sucks everything out. So there's nothing that leaves that area. And then they have a vacuum system that removes all the methane gas. Basically, anything stanky in the bathroom, this little vacuum machine sucks it all out.
Now, yeah. I'm just curious. I'm still curious. How does that cost $23 million?
If a schmuck like myself is playing with the damn thing, and I've looked inside of it, I've looked outside, inside of it, and it's not worth $23 million. Eric, I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna give it some credit and say I'd say maybe $1,000 max, and that's giving it credit. $1,000 max. The bits and pieces is nothing that you can't build in your garage. It's a fucking vacuum machine, man. It's a stainless vacuum machine. I've worked on it, Eric.
John asked, do you sit in filthy porta potties? Do you sit on it?
Yes, they sit on it, and then they have to, when they're done, they've got to sterilize it with all this alcohol stuff. They got to sterilize the entire side because theoretically, if they're in a tin can and they're in space, everything that a bacteria, because your body carries its own bacteria stock. So anything and everything inside there, it's a bacteria haven. So when they're done with the bath, it's like an hour-long thing. So they take a dump, then they got to spend the next 45 minutes sterilizing the whole thing with alcohol, with its vacuum and all that. They just can't go in there like at a chili cook-off and fucking relieve themselves. You in next, man? Woo, light a match. You know, they don't do that. So theoretically, if they're really doing the shit in a tin can,
this thing really costed $23 million, right?
$22 million fucking dollars, yeah.
Now, if it breaks, do they have another $23 million ready to go?
Right.
I'm serious. Well, if it's going to break, you got to have parts. You got to have all this. So that means you're going to have a backup, or your bathroom sucks. So that means you probably spent over $46 million to have the parts to build another one. You know, I used
to clean it, Eric. I used to clean it.
Why can't they take this, right? So say it did cost $23 million. Okay. Give it to the Chinese or give it to Japan. I'm sure they could take the idea and build this.
Oh, yeah.
For $1,000.
Oh, you can have a couple fucking sweat lodges up in India somewhere. They could probably park that thing or build one in like maybe a day or two, you know, with just like $100. It's a vacuum. It's a stainless steel vacuum. That's all it is. That's it. It's a vacuum cleaner. That's the concept. You sit on it and it sucks your shit out. And then it sucks anything out it's supposed to suck all the methane so they're not floating around in a tin can with all that ass stank in there. I mean, they're floating some serious biscuits, man. So if they open the door and they don't have the sucking machine, the whole place would be like contaminated with like who's cooking brownies up in this fucking can. This is bad.
If you're going to spend money on a science project, Flat Accord Music made it clear that every show that you burped in it, there should be a science project on what's making you burp during the show. Is it something we got to worry about? Is it?
Yeah, so they got to sterilize. Theoretically, they're not sitting on a dirty porta potty.
Right. How about this?
A porta potty.
Says, why not save the $23 million? Why don't they just step outside, do their thing, and let it float away?
Well, they are wearing diapers. They do wear diapers. Theoretically, if it's all real, I ain't believing shit anymore. But yes, I had worked with not with the used diapers, but we have diapers at the museum flight. They have diapers. They wore diapers in their little fucking uniforms. So you know.
So if I'm an astronaut, I would say, hey, instead of spending $23 million on the toilet, just buy me diapers. Let me have $22 million of it. And once I go my diaper, I'll just put it in a machine and flush it outside in space, like he's saying. Let it float away.
You know how many times NASA has sat in front of Congress, and Congress is like, so you got let me look at this. You got an 11. Hold on, there. Look, you got an 11. You said an $11,000 orange. You have $11,000 for an actual orange to eat, or a piece of fruit. $11,000. $1,000 for a writing scriber. A writing scriber, Eric. They have a astronaut approved writing scriber. It's a pen that you can write upside down with. $10,000. $10,000.
Here's more money wasting for NASA. Okay, so NASA's taking our taxpayers' money that all of us work our ass off. That's probably never going to walk again when we retire because we all be fucking damaged. Not just spending $23 million. Now, hold on. If you scroll down. It says, where is it? Hold on, where is it? Oh, right here. Hilary Swank trained with astronauts at NASA for her new role. So Hilary Swank has a TV show on Netflix about, I think it's called Always, about a space movie.
Yeah.
Now, of course, Netflix is paying her to be with NASA. So, but NASA still has to pay their people to train Hilary Swank for a TV show. You know what I'm saying? Talk about wasting taxpayers' money. So taxpayer are paying astronauts, if they're real or not, I'm not saying if they're real or not, are paying these people to train Hillary Swank for her show. I mean, dude, this is just waste of our money.
The only thing that's relevant that I saw working with my own hands in those damn things was the Velcro. The Velcro is the number one tool. The Velcro and duct tape is the number one tool a NASA or astronaut has. If they're not anywhere anyway. But Velcro, everything's attached to Velcro. That's it. Everything else is just some over expensive piece of shit.
She taught them how to pretend they're someone else.
Yeah.
Why do they only show the inside? Where are the pictures the astronauts could easily take off from Earth from there? Why do we see guys in plague masks in the reflections of the tablets of the astronauts? That's a fair point. And that's all fair. Yeah, I'm not saying this. I'm just saying we're just fucking wasting money. I mean, they're wasting our money. Cause come on, I'm sorry. If everything is 100% real, there's no way a fucking toilet costs $23 million. I bet you they paid like maybe $1 million, and they're using $22 million to put in their own pockets to have parties. To tell the world, hey, we got a new toilet and it's easier for women. Is this like I remember going up the B-17 bomber, the old original B-17 bombers, and they had real equipment in there, like real working equipment. They had a damn coffee machine, man, because when you get up to that altitude, it's fucking freezing in a real airplane, going really weird for reals up there. And then I worked with the astronaut equipment in the Astro area, and it was bullshit fucking toys. I'm like, this is the technology that I'm holding is nothing compared to that B-17 I just got out of. The B-17 has nothing but pure technology. And then when I look at the NASA stuff, I've worked with the NASA shit at the Museum of Flight, and it's a joke. These are toys. These are Chinese made fucking $1 knockoff crap. So this is not worth anything. You guys want to read this article I just put in the chat? It's a fucking long ass link, but we're gonna go into Bob's. Let me get Bob's up here in a second. Oh, hold on a second. I never do it. Where is it?
Yeah.
Let me get it ready. Let me go here. Let me go to StreamYard. Let me go share. There we go.
Cool.
Here we go. We get the volume up. Here we go.
I'm reading the paper. Welcome to What the Fuck News. I can't actually read, I'm blind, but it sure feels good. Let's go into some details about what's going on this week. This is Space Week. That's great. And the cool thing is to look up at the stars because it's important. You want to see Mars. And Mars is now the brightest star. Well, it's not really a star, it's a planet, or whatever you want to call it. But it's going to be the brightest this week. A bright orange, yellow, glowing orange, red thingy. I don't know. It's kind of weird how it glows. I don't know how it glows. I guess they say it's oxidized by the metals, anyway, oxidation. But how the fuck is it glowing? I don't know. But anyway, look for Mars this week. It's going to be close. It's the closest it has been in a long time, and this is really close. This particular week and month, it's going to be very close. So, again, happy Space Week, for whatever you want to call it. Let's talk about the Chain 4. I'm going to be honest with you. Let's see here. It's the 3rd of January in 2019. 3rd of January 2019. Apparently, they landed on the dark side of the moon. The last people to be on the dark side of the moon was back in 1972, if they actually ever went to the moon. Was Apollo 17. They played golf, and then they launched golf balls. I'm probably getting it all wrong. I don't fucking know. I didn't hear about it landing. I knew it landed, or they said they landed, but who cares? So yeah, they landed in the biggest crater ever. Of course, they picked the biggest crater ever to play golf in. Who knows? I'm going to keep moving. So also this week, on the 8th of October this week, we're going to have 2020 the SX3. 2020 SX3. Anyway, it's going to be an asteroid about the size of the Eiffel Tower, and it's coming towards Earth. And it's been coming around Earth for some time. It always passes through whatever they want to say. And it's spinning, it's going the size of fast as a bullet, whatever. But that's okay because we've got a satellite. We've got a satellite, and that satellite's going to be revolving around it like a tick around a bullet moving it anyway. So what it's going to do is it's going to take samples because they figure they might have samples. And according to what NASA says, those samples might prove there's panspermia, that these life came from other planets on this asteroid that's coming over here. It came from a planet Testament or whatever bullshit they said. So anyway, they're going to make an attempt. So it's going to land on this thing that's going as fast as a bullet, and they're going to use nitrogen to puff it and grab samples and remove itself. Now, the funny thing is, how does nitrogen work in below sub-zero temperatures? How does it work in plus temperatures? I don't know. Nitrogen's weird that way. It must be able to work at any temperature. What hell, the tires on the freaking Tesla car hasn't blown up. I guess the nitrogen puffs will be just fine. So anyway, it's just a simple one today for What the Fuck News. All of this shit is making me say, what the fuck? I don't know. I've never heard of this shit before, but apparently it's happening. And I think that the NASA is doing a fantastic job telling us all this fun, artificial, fun story time stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy it and look forward to it. Again, happy Space Week for a lot of you out there.
Yeah, it's Space Week, Eric. This is Space Week. Just so you know, it's Space Week.
Well, I mean, there's tons of space shows now on TV. I mean,
Yeah.
Netflix, I don't know, Apple TV. There's a new space show on every single thing. I didn't know HBO launched a new series too, called Raised. I might say it wrong. Called Raised with Wolves, Raised by Wolves, or whatever. And in this space series on HBO Max is about where mankind is like planets like being like destroyed, where two AI robots are raised.
No.
They're raising newborn kids on another planet to start life all over. And of course, I ain't watched it yet, being attacked. So I'm saying there's like space shows are just showing up everywhere. So that makes sense, right? If this is Space Month, makes sense why they're all being released now.
Yeah, so this is Space Week, actually Space Week. And I'm going to be honest with you. I remember I worked at the Museum of Flight, and I don't remember this week ever being Space Week in October like that. I don't have that memory. So maybe I'm misremembering, but I certainly don't remember no Space Week around in October. What I do know in October, yeah.
Juan, he says, no Space Week for me. I'd rather sit and pee reading the book. Probably rather pee with that $23 million toilet.
Yeah. So I don't remember no Space Week, but it's Space Week. And again, guys, Mars is supposed to be the closest it's ever been, or not ever, but it's supposed to be close in its little trajectory around fucking fake planet. So it's going to be next to the moon. You got to take a look at that moon. It's supposed to be bright. I've never, ever in my life have seen a red glowing ball in the sky. It is orange. I've been watching it every night. I've been going out there and staring at this thing, doing my little. I got all kinds of equipment, and I'm watching this red flickering ball of something, and they're supposed to be a planet. I go, how is it red? How is it glowing? How is it doing that? It doesn't make any sense at all. But they're saying it's Mars, Eric, and it's red because it's oxidized, because it's high iron. And what are you talking about? Now they found bodies of water under the soil of Mars. I'm like, when did you find this out? All these interesting little fucking NASA releases have been going steady with it. And we've had I can look up, Eric, every day. There's a goddamn meteor coming here every day. Nearby miss, every day. You know how easy it is for me to find news? I just pick up the paper and I find another like you did, another NASA story. It's just they're just feeding you it. The masses are eating it like fucking cereal in the morning, like for a stoner with cereal. So much bullshit. And then again with it 23 million, 23. It's if people know about 23, they know what 23 is. $23 million fucking toilet that I've worked on at the Museum of Flight. We had 2 of them, and I've worked on them, and they're vacuum cleaners. That's it, and there's nothing to them. Eric is so basic, dude. You ever heard of a Dyson vacuum cleaner, dude?
Yeah.
Okay, you know how that it's Northern Europe, I guess Germany made it, or Sweden, I think made it. The Dyson vacuum cleaner. What you have is a Dyson vacuum cleaner. It's a toilet Dyson toilet vacuum cleaner. It's if you know what a Dyson vacuum cleaner does, you know what this toilet does. It's the same thing. It's the same shit. Literally.
Question about this $23 million toilet, and we'll talk about it again. You take a dump. What if? Yeah. How does it clean your ass? Is there toilet paper up there, or does it like suck all the? I'm not trying to be gross, but
good question. A lot of people ask these questions, man. It's actually people that's their number one question is how do they relieve themselves in space? So I worked in the space shuttle. And I would take them in the compartment. I'd open up the closet it's like a wall, like a closet. They didn't even know it, like a cabinet. You open it up, and there's a little step that goes up. And again, it's just a sit down. It's like a goddamn wall, a cabinet in your kitchen. And that's how small it is. And the door shuts like this far to your face. So in there, Eric, you got paper. And you've got you take a piece of plastic and you cut a star out of it. So you've got the little pieces of the plastic. So you put your paper so it holds. This looks bad. So it holds your paper. So you've got a piece of paper and it's holding it. I'm just like, here we go, piece of paper. So it's like a little star, right? And you put it in. I bet people are saying he's giving a code. So you put it in there, and it holds it in the wall like this. And when you're ready, you pull it out of the wall. You use it. It goes sump. It sucks. It sucks into it. It sucks. So everything sucks into that fucking thing. So they use paper. Paper.
What about plungers? Any plungers?
They don't have no plunger. There's no plunger. There's no plunger. It is a Dyson vacuum cleaner fucking toilet. And so when they're done with it, they have paper that's like an alcohol paper. It's like an alcohol paper, so you're sterilizing yourself. And then when you're done, here we go. Dyson is a vortex. As far as the Dyson theory, as far as the toilet thing, that's not what was with thinking. Yeah. So it's the same concept, but a different kind of thing. But if a Dyson married a toilet, they would have that baby. So yeah, then they got to sterilize the whole thing. They got to wipe it down. They've got like a suction. Bullshit, man.
It says here they just go to the normal toilet and then back in front of the green screen.
Yeah, right. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah. If you want the truth of it. And I've seen it. I'm like, this can't, no, man. No. And even the toilet's small. It's small. It's little ass toilet. I'm like, it is like sitting in a porta potty. It is exactly
on $23 million toilet.
It's a $23 million porta potty. That's exactly what it is. It's even got a toilet seat.
Let's go to our last segment before we get to the main topic. Let's go to Grandpa's theme. All right, let me share the screen. All right, this story is called Archie Woke Up and Saw an Alien Outside His Window. Now, that kind of sucks. You just wake up and you see an alien just standing outside your window. So let's find out what Archie did.
Hey, welcome to Grandpa's World. I'm Grandpa, and today I'm going to do about Archie here. Aliens couldn't paralyze me enough, even though they tried. When Archie was young, his grandparents were at his home visiting with him and his parents. His grandfather was a retired career investigator for the federal government. Archie woke up to a loud buzzing noise. He shared a bedroom with his younger brother, Jed. There was a window directly over his brother's bed. Archie had been woken up, looked out the window, and saw a UFO. On seeing that, Archie ran to his parents' room in a state of panic. He raced into the room as quietly as possible because he didn't want the aliens to know where he was inside the house. He ran to his father's side of the bed, but he could not wake him. He ran to his mother's side of the bed, could not wake her either. So he shook them violently, but they still didn't wake up. Not knowing what else to do, Archie dove into bed between his parents, pulled the covers up over his head, but he just wanted to peek out a little bit, I guess, to see if he needed to hide further. He stayed there for several minutes, not moving, not knowing what to do. He heard a whoosh, and the sky became dark, and the loud buzzing stopped. Archie stayed for a little bit longer until he was sure the aliens had left. The next morning, he was telling his family what had transpired in the night. They had no idea what he was talking about, told him it was just a dream. Well, this is not the sort of dream Archie had at the time. As he got older, some of his relatives told him that there had been many alien encounters within the family. That's the end of the story. Take a quick moment to like and subscribe and have a great day. That's all for Grandpa's World. We'll see you later.
Now, what I like, what's kind of cool of this kid was he didn't want to wake up anybody, make a lot of noise, so the aliens not to know where he's at. So he went to his parents' room like quietly, so he don't bring the aliens with him in the room. What a nice kid, Archie. That's a
nice kid.
Awesome kid. But it is interesting that he said that, you know, he's young, he's afraid, and he's trying to wake his dad up and his mom up, but they wouldn't wake up. They're like frozen, and you wonder. Here's Grandpa's YouTube page. If you guys want to check it out, I recommend you guys should. Interesting is maybe he saved his parents in a way where because he was in there, because there's got to be a reason why they couldn't move. He couldn't wake them up.
They mentally paralyze you. They do some kind of thing where they mentally paralyze you. You can't. They almost knock you out like an anesthetic. They literally anesthetic your head. They gotta get into your head, knock you out. Mama's gonna knock you out. The alien's gonna knock you out. The Anunnaki's gonna knock you out. Yeah, they're knocking you out. You can't do anything. You're in a deep coma sleep. You're just gone out. Next thing you wake up a few quarts low, and that's how it works. With some tissue missing and all kinds of shit.
What do you think is happening during the parents not waking up? Are you thinking that the alien, like I said, this hypothetically, I'm not saying that is 100% real.
Taking a guess, yeah.
I'm just hypothetically here. So don't think these guys are crazy. These guys think every ghost story UFO is real. No, we're just saying hypothetically. You think the alien life form is maybe planting memories in their minds?
They could do that. Yeah, I've heard those stories.
Nothing.
I've heard those. Again, people, these are just stories. Everything, I mean, you know, but there's smoke, there's fire, so that's how we talk about it. I would throw this away if you want to. But let's just say what happened after they know you're out. Cállate, cabrón.
The poo goes somewhere in space, maybe form into space rocks, and never know. I don't know. Futurama cartoon where they start dumping all their garbage and stuff in space, and all the garbage and waste of poop form like a meteorite that is going to re-crash back into Earth. So maybe one day, guys, you're going to be walking down the street and there's poop going to fly like a meteorite and hit you in the face. Sorry about that. I'm back to the story.
Yeah. But yeah, so supposedly, according to the stories, these little fuckers with the big ass head will, like, 2 or 3 of them will stand by the bedside and they'll just use their head telekinesis wise or ESP wise or whatever, and they put you out. They put you out, and then they actually think of they put memories in your head. Maybe that's the secret of the Mandela effect. Maybe everybody with the Mandela effect had an alien stand at the end of their bed and go, "Oh." put things in their head. I'm just joking, but I must have had a fleet of them around me then because I can misremember everything. But anyway, they implant memories and things into your head like dreams. That's what people have said. Okay, I debunk. Let's start that off the bat. I took a parapsychology class. I'm just telling you guys stuff we talked about in the class to debunk. But the idea was that they put images in your head. Like those people say, I woke up with this dream about a big ass storm that happened and lots of rain and all kinds of stuff. Well, they could have put it in your head. Sometimes they put messages in your head. That's the theory. Again, the theory. I didn't say this is happening. But supposedly they freeze you, they knock you out. They don't even take you sometimes. They just put images in your head. Like even religious figures from the Bible. Maybe there was ETs or demons or whatever the fuck, interdimensionals. Putting images in people's heads. Making them think certain things. Making them see certain. I've just had a dream about the future. Well, maybe they put the future in your head. Theoretically, by the way. Or you can just say God did it. It's up to whatever your belief is. But that's the theory with the aliens. They are able to get into your head with their fucking heads. They're able to do that and knock you out with just thinking about it.
Or maybe it's like a connection that they're, like you want to get information off a computer, you stick in a USB information download. Maybe with the technology of the aliens, the reason they couldn't move or not, at that moment in time, they're like using an invisible USB to get all their memories to their bank.
Well, if they put an implant in you, so if you basically, so you've got Elon fucking bullshit Musk full of shit asshole. Anyway, and he's talking about doing neural implants in your brain. Well, if that idiot, and I believe you guys, he's an idiot. He's not what people think he is. The guy's he has autism, and he's not a smart autistic kid. He's a fucking idiot guy. So as a joke between the guys behind the curtain going, I bet you $1 we can put an idiot out there and make him look like a genius. Go get little Elon, little dumbass. He's over there in the back with his fucking shirt off, running around with a paper towel around his back, acting like Superman, snot running down his face. Put him up there, make him look smart. And he's talking about putting the implant in your brain. Well, the extraterrestrials can do that. The interdimensionals can do that. People from the future can do that. And then they can just transmit shit to your head.
Well, there is another story. According to John Nada, there's a story of an old woman that creeps on you after you.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can see that. Sort of an old woman that creeps up. Wow. Yeah. Well, good for her then.
Our old here, Gary Ragsdale, like Inception.
Like Inception, yeah. Like Inception. Also, they have like Dark City or Dark World. Was it Dark City? Dark City, where they have these interdimensional beings that come in and out. They actually use an old syringe and they put memories into your head. So they inject these things into your head.
Oh, what does he say here, Flacker? I recommend the documentary The Nightmare by the same guy who did Room 237 documentary. As research, that documentary scared me more than any horror movie I've ever seen. I've never heard of this Nightmare. I love good horror documentaries. I'll definitely check this out. Now, Flat, is this Nightmare you're talking about? Is this like a documentary that's on YouTube, or is it like on a streaming service? Where did you see this? Oh, Woody, right here. There is another documentary on YouTube about the same topic. So there's another a Nightmare. I can link the correct film. You will love it. Yeah, I love good documentaries.
I do too. Yeah, I love it too. I see that. Yeah, they again, they can do those things if they have the technology to come in and out of wormholes or holes or dimensions or realities. I'm sure they can get into your fucking head. I'm sure they've already implanted some people like cattle, and they're just visiting and then downloading shit into you.
Well, I want to jump into the story. Let me get it here. Let me get it up. Like, because there's a story that kind of interested me. The ghost of Tupu. Tupo. I'm not trying to make fun of how to say it, but it's Tupo. I don't know how they're supposed to say it properly. So
do you have that download I sent you about Biden?
Bob, you know what? I'm going to show you this. I can't.
Oh, it didn't come in.
Show you this.
It didn't come in.
No. This is what it says. Your video you sent. It says you don't have permission to access this video.
Oh shit!
This is the video you sent me right here.
Yeah.
You don't. There was a problem playing this video. I can't play it.
No way.
I'm not serious.
It was a recording. I did a recording from the television, like not off the TV, but like filmed the TV. That's fucked up. So I just figured if you just film the television instead of like downloading from the TV, okay, that's fucked up.
No,
shit.
People have done that. They film off the TV and they play it on YouTube, but because the voices are exactly like the video, they can still get you.
Wow, well, that's good though. That's good. That's information. That's good information. That's good though. Don't play. I don't want you getting taken off. So that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, look, I keep trying.
That's hilarious.
Access the video. I don't have. That's weird, right? You've never sent me something where I couldn't play it.
Well, let me show you this then. I got it right here.
Okay, let me get it off. Let me get this off.
See, I gotta hit play on it. Okay, let's see if I can get it to go. Oh, hit play.
I can see it. Yeah.
How do you hit play on this thing?
He went in and we were insisting that the Chinese, the people we haven't
Damn Chinese!
Did you hear that?
Chinese.
He said Chinese. Hold on, let me do it again. Hold on. Oh God. Okay. Oh, let's see if we can do it again. Oh, here, go ahead, Eric. Keep talking. I'll fix it.
No, he's trying to get it ready for us, guys.
It's such a quick. He says Chinese on camera. This is during the debates, man. I'm like, wait, you did not just say that.
Well, Bob fixed that. Suzanne wrote, I had a frozen sleep dream the other day. I don't get them often. I thought this shadow that ran over me sleeping. Then corner of my eye, thought it was the raccoon. I saw a few nights before on my deck. Got in there after thinking it's 2 a.m. real. I went to get up to get outside, but then woke up. Wow.
No shit. Okay, I got it fixed there.
Okay,
let's try it again. Okay. Oh shit, let me get this off. Okay, let's see if I can get it. Okay, so you guys can see it now. We have to listen close.
He went in and we were insisting that the Chinese, the people we haven't
Damn Chinese!
You hear how he said? He said it during the debate. I go, now I thought this man was representing the minority people, and he's saying Chinese. A little bit of a slip there, buddy. He also said Ku Klux Klan. He said Ku Klux Klan, and I go, I thought it was Ku Klux Klan now. I remember Ku Klux Klan, but he says Ku Klux Klan with the L, which is no longer that way. But go ahead. Let's go on with this one. I just wanted to hear Biden's Chinese.
No. This is called Ghost of Tupu. Now, this is a short story part, and I got some more articles, but in the basic thing, Tupu was an ancient Chinese ghost with revenge on his mind. Before he died, Tupu served as a minister to Chinese Emperor Huzan. The two had a disagreement, and Huzan had Tupu killed in about 786 BC, despite warnings that Tupu would come back and haunt him. Tupu did a lot more than haunt the emperor. 3 years later, in 1783 BC, Hu Zhao was killed with an arrow fired by a parentation resembling Chu Pu in front of assembly of few lords. Wrote Chinese philosopher Mo Tu translation to complete book. Well, apparently the emperor, their king, got killed by an arrow. But the story goes that Chu Pu was a ghost that killed him with an arrow. So you're talking about someone he killed 3 years ago. Now, why is this such an interesting story? Now, first of all, when you think of ghost needs energy to make things move. They need a lot of energy to make things move. Okay. Now, if this is real, this would have to be one of the most powerful ghosts that we have ever seen, because it takes a lot for a ghost just to move this, just to push it, like push the ball forward, right? Yeah. Now, anybody out there who ever shot an arrow, if you never shot an arrow, most of us can't even shoot a good arrow. Like if you had a target, most of us will miss a target 3 out of 10 times to even get close to a bullseye. Now, if you're a ghost and you're able to pull up an arrow and actually hit your target, dude, that has to be a powerful ghost, Bob, to even be able to shoot an arrow off. Now, this emperor here, I looked him up on Wikipedia. Like, who is this emperor anyway? So I pulled up on Wikipedia. The arrow. His name is King. I can't pronounce Chinese names. I'm sorry. Of Zhou, whatever. Personal name Ji Jing. He was the 11th king of the Chinese Zhou Dynasty, estimated around in the BC era. He worked to restore loyal authority after the Gong He interregnum. He fought the Western Barbarians and other groups in the Huai River in the southeast. In his 9th year, he called a meeting of the lords. Later, he intervened the military in succession struggles in the state of Luwei, blah blah blah. From time on, the many lords mostly rebelled against royal commands. He is said to have killed innocent Dubo, which Dubu is actually Tupu. I don't know why it's spelled differently, 2 different ways, but he had innocent Dubu of Tang, and according to the tradition, was himself killed by an arrow fired by Dubu. So for one thing, I don't understand why there's 2 different words of a name, but it is the same person. I don't. Maybe Bob, maybe got more of a understanding on.
Well, they have Mandarin, they have the Cantonese, they have Mandarin, they have Cantonese, they have a lot of indigenous languages in China, and people just think it's one language. No, they've got multiple languages, so it's a difference. But no, I know how he had the power to do it, though. I know how he did it.
Well, okay. When I hear power, let me pull up this other Wikipedia on Dubu. Not actually Dubu. He's actually Tupu, whatever his name is. Dubu was Duke. Now, this guy was the Duke of Tangdu during the reign of, the king's reign, the one we just talked about. After his execution, he became known as a case of an avenging spirit. Now, this is the history of him. Following a rumor that a woman would jeopardize the town of King order mass execution of women. Now, order a mass execution of women. After Dubu admonished the king for his decision, because the king ordered a mass execution of women, and Dubu did not like that.
No.
Despite having been warned that Dubu's ghost would haunt him, 3 years, King fell ill and died after dreaming that Dubu shot him to death with an arrow. Now, here's saying one story of the king saying he got shot. And this was saying he fell ill and died after dreaming that he was shot him with an arrow. So there's two. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm bringing this up. There's two like stories. One saying for a fact he got shot with an arrow. In this one, he felt ill, saying he dreamed of being shot with an arrow. It's kind of cool.
Well, they wrote it in probably Cantonese, and so it's a translation. I mean, it probably goes either way. Either way, the ghost got him, and I know why. I know how he did it, Eric. It's easy. Now you go. His name is Tupu.
Yes,
that's his name. So his name is Tupu, and if you look at P-O, P is 16, and the O is 15. That comes out to 13. So that comes out to 13. So again, P is numerical 16, and O is 15. So Pu is, and so because it's 13, it's like how Jesus, or whatever your belief is, he was sold out for 13 silver coins. So he himself was exacted revenge. So in the same concept, a lot of revenge characters, I'm just being serious. They always have something. Their names always come out with a 13. If you do the value of their names, it's always a 13. So it seems that it is a running theme in this comic book that all revenge characters have a 13 somehow associated with them. So I think it's his Pooh, Eric. P-O. In fact, we talked about Pooh. So P is a 16 and O is a 15. That's 13. Yeah. There you go. I don't know. I'm making this shit up. It's just making it up. So I'm just fucking around. So don't take me seriously. But yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of cool stories. There's a lot of cool little stories from. It is
because think about like I was talking about Braveheart. I mean, this can easily be a movie because you had a king who did execution of women.
That's a little much, man. I don't blame him for not wanting to do that. I would, if I was ordered by the emperor, you got to go kill women and children. No, I'd do him first. I do the emperor first.
No, this is
the emperor with a fucking arrow. I do it live though.
This is the only picture that is related to Tupu. This picture right here. There's like no other drawings of this. I can't even find drawings of the original king. But why is this story so interesting? Why is the story not really told?
Yeah, it's true. It's like a nice little revenge story. Maybe the Chinese made a movie about it. We don't know. Oh, but you said you looked. You couldn't find one.
I couldn't find one. I went on YouTube to find like a documentary of this because it's so interesting. Think about it. You get murdered because you went against your king. So it tells you your king is not willing to listen to other people's side of the story and have you killed. And then he comes back and haunts you in your dreams. Haunts you until he kills you.
Tupu. The revenge of Tupu. The revenge of Tupu. Dun, dun, dun. With his bowing in arrows.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you like I said, you type in his name and there's really nothing. It's just it's so weird. Yeah. Now the closest story that I could find is I was hoping maybe people in the chat have heard more. I have. Now I'm going to share this. Okay, now here. This is about the only thing I could find, like a story. Now, apparently there's a book, but the Ghost of Tupu. China has such a China has a long history. Well, yeah, they're a diverse culture with different regions. Like you said, Bob, there's a lot of regions within China.
Yes.
Religion and translations. Most ancient countries has. Sometimes things change over time, like in this case with Chinese ghosts and how they are preserved. The tales and belief changes according to the ebb and flow of time. In any case, it has been believed that traditionally in China and the countries are around often, that every living person will become a ghost when we die. So in China, there was a belief in those days that when they die, they're not talking about going to heaven. They're talking about that they're going to become a ghost.
Yeah. I know about the whole religion thing from school. They theirs is based off of Buddhism, and then it come out of it's the same thing all over China, including the other Asian countries, including India. It's all based off of the Buddhist philosophy that when you die, you become a ghost. Now, depending on how good you were in life, if you were a good person, everybody becomes a ghost for a short period of time, and then you become weaker and weaker. So when you first become a ghost, you've got a lot of power. You can move shit, you can pick things, you can cause a lot of havoc. But if you're a good-hearted person and the family honors your death, because you have to honor in Asia and especially China, you got to honor the deceased for 1 year, 1 solid year. And if you don't participate in any ritual for that individual while they're still walking around with the most power they have is when they first die, they're going to be pissed, and they're going to try to get your attention to get you to remember them for that year. Because then after the year, they get weaker and weaker, and they can't do anything, and then they go on. They reincarnate. But you want them to reincarnate happy. So traditionally in Japan and China and Korea and all them other places, they do a year-long memorial where they burn incense, they put rice down, they even burn money. And what they do now is you pay for burning money. It's like burning money. You buy it, and its purpose is to burn. So you pay for it, but you're going to burn the burning money. So you burn money to the offerings. You do all that fun stuff. But here's the problem, Eric. There's another level to this. If you were a bad person, like you're a banker, or you're a money lender, or a money changer, or you're just some kind of fucking piece of shit, like the emperor or something, you become what they call a hungry ghost. And it's the lowest level of ghost. You're a hungry ghost. And so a hungry ghost, if you die, you've been an asshole your whole life. And so what you're punished in the after karma, your karma life, you're punished as a spirit. So everybody becomes a ghost. So if you're a shitbird, you die, and then you get what you call the hungers. You hungry. And so the way karma works is you will become hungry for something obscure and stupid. Like there's even stories where they become hungry for corpses. So in the afterworld, they used to be hungry for money, and now they are hungry for something stupid like corpses. So they'll hang around a cemetery. They're hungry for the corpses. Or they become hungry for something obscure like a lampshade or a box. That's why they say in China and certain places, boxes and inanimate objects can be possessed, or dolls, because there's a hungry ghost obsessed with this object. It can't get away from it. It's obsessed with it. It's suffering, and it's hungry for it. It can't. If you take it, it will follow you around and fuck with you because you've taken something it's hungry for. A hungry ghost will come after you. It will cause bad things to happen. It'll find an object and be hungry for it and covet it, or covet an area. Or they'll even, if you had killed somebody, if somebody was murdered, maliciously murdered or family murdered, then they become a hungry ghost. And that's what they call them, hungry ghosts. And they will come after you. They will give you sickness. They will cause you to lose your job. Because they live on the same, in their philosophy in Asia, ghosts live on the same plane as humans. Same plane as humans. And how they describe them is you could have a regular ghost, a good-hearted person who stands next to a human by a riverside. The human sees the river as beautiful and flowing. The happy ghost sees the same river, beautiful and flowing, because that ghost is happy. But a hungry ghost is like in hell, because all the hungry ghosts will see is a river filled with pus and death and bodies or something nasty. They can't see anything good. So they continuously get fed this angry environment. They can't see anything good, nothing. So they walk around just becoming malice and angry. So they have to exercise them, dude. They got to exercise these ghosts. I actually saw in Japan an exorcism for a ghost in the Japanese house.
Oh, one of our people in the chat, Suzanne, a hungry ghost. I listened to a video about this. Very, very interesting. So she actually watched a video about the hungry ghost. And Gary Ragsdale believes that ghosts are basically energy, which I agree with them. Ghosts are, ghost energy. To me, they're the same thing because if there's a ghost, it's basically energy. I mean, without energy, there's no ghost.
Yeah, it's energy. So these you don't want to be a hungry ghost, man. It's like being worse than hell. It's hell.
But one of the things I like what Torres says. Yes, most Asian countries have a lot of respect and honor the elderly once they go to the afterlife. The Asian countries, they have more respect for the dead than we do in America. That's a fact. That's a fact. When somebody dies here, it's like, okay, I'm not saying most people, but okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
Asians really respect because like you're saying, Bob, maybe if you know the story of Hungry Ghost, that, if you're a bad person, maybe you should respect the ghost more. You should respect the afterlife and be a better person because it can come back and bite you in the ass.
Well, yeah, because you don't want a relative becoming a hungry ghost because you didn't honor them for the whole damn year. I mean, they have to do it for a year. That means incense. That means a bowl of rice. That means burning $1 or $2, an object or something. Like in certain countries, they can actually buy. Dude, they can buy cars, like paper cars, like the size of a car. Like made of paper. They could buy all kinds of objects made of paper. They burn and burn again. They're constantly doing it for a whole year because they don't want that relative going into that place upset. A lot of burials, they call it, they have the grave goods. Like even the Viking, man, Eric, even the Viking, when they go off to Valhalla, they sometimes burn them in the boats and they leave them with a slave. Like a slave will volunteer to die.
Article here, Bob, does have the word hungry ghosts in here. This is what it says. The ancestors are honored, given sacrifice, and held in esteem, thinking they have part in the world as much as the living. Ancestral worship is the original basic of Chinese religion, and it is the core belief there is an existence after death. A deceased person's soul is made up of yin and yang parts called hun and po. They are not immortal and need offerings before going to the underworld for eternal rest. And here we go. The trouble, however, is when the spirit is driven by anger and malice. This is called a hungry ghost. It only happens on rare occasions. It is not only in China. It is reported in the various of Asian countries. It happens when a person's death has been especially violent or unhappy. And perhaps this is what happened to Poole.
It did. He was a hungry ghost.
Now,
so he had a lot of energy in him.
Well, this is the background. Poole was the Duke of Tangdu, and if you look in there, I guess here's a map here. You look down here. There's Yan, Jin, Qin, Chou. This is like the maps of their country. What we're talking about, and it says in the state of Yilin, Shanxi province. So somewhere on there it is. According to the legend, the Tangdu were descendants of the people living in the state of Tang. A dukedom destroyed by Zhou Gong, then Duke of Zhou, they were allowed to form a new state of Du and became known as Tangdu or Du Shi. Now, he was also a minister to the king, which we said before, is also known as Emperor Huzan, which that's part of the other story, where he was the 11th king of the Chinese Zhou Dynasty. The king is remembered to frighten the Western Barbarians, most probably, I don't know, I can't say that, of the Huai River. On his 9th year as king, he called all the lords into a meeting. He also meddled in debauchable succession of state. Consider father Chinese. From time to time, the Lord mostly rebelled. Well, here. Okay, here's a picture. This is the picture of the king right here. Probably the only. Oh, where did I go? Where is it? So that's the picture of the king. Of course, the rest of the story is what we said. Where 3 years later, he got shot and killed.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta tame them goats, man. You don't want them angry. I said I was in Japan, and I got to see their version of kind of a semi-exorcism, where they had a Shindo. He was a Shindo priest, and the Shindo is basically kind of an animism religion. It's really, really neat. It's really neat. They walked around the house with a bowl of rice. In Japan, the guy walked around with a bowl of rice, like a steaming hot bowl of fresh, fucking bright white, non-sticky rice, a big bowl. Made me hungry. He walked around the whole house speaking in Japanese about talking to the spirit in the house. He was luring the spirit around him in the house. He's trying to get him to follow him around, or her, or whatever that spirit was that was fucking around with that family. I saw it. Well, I didn't see the spirit, but I heard the family story. Walking around the house. It's not a very Japanese houses aren't very fucking big. They're pretty fucking small. So didn't take too long to walk around the guy's house. And then Eric, he walks out the front door and he sets the rice outside the door, like a few feet from the door. And then they leave the door. They said, leave the door open. Leave the door open. So they leave the house. They all come out of the house for a little bit. This is when I was there. Everyone's got a different method, but this is what I saw. Shindo priest doing it. And so I go, well, what's up with the rice and what the fuck is going on? He says, well, what we're doing is it's a hungry ghost. So as they put it, I'm thinking food hunger. I didn't know the whole philosophy behind it until later. But the idea was for the ghost to come outside, Eric, come outside and get the rice. The ghost was going to come outside and get the rice. And then after they waited a short time, then they shut the door. So now the ghost can't come back in. That's how they remove the ghost. That's how they remove ghosts. They put a bowl of rice outside the house. They walk around the house with the rice, and then they walk outside the door and they put the rice outside the door. It's that simple. There's no freaking priests, no exorcisms.
Hear them in the chat. If you got a ghost in your house, try it. Take a bowl of rice and put it outside. Now, Bob, actually, it says this is how to look like when he died. It says 3 years later, the king brought his dukes to hunt on his own hunting grounds. There were hundreds of chariots, thousands of escorts. At noon, Tupu appeared, riding a white horse and a cart, wearing a red coat with a red bow and arrow in hand. He took up the chase of Xing Zong, who's the king, and shot the king in the heart and broke his spine. Okay, so he shot him in the heart but broke his spine. At the time, it is reported that no one saw the killing and no one heard it. The king fell. Tupu got his revenge. Now here, in another version, it said that the king died after dreaming that Tupu shot him.
Yeah.
Arrow. So there's two different ways, but I like the description of he's riding a white horse because a lot of people believe that when they die, a chariot comes with a white horse and takes you away. So maybe that part of the stories I've heard before came from here, started with this story.
Yeah. I'm sure there's always everybody romanticizes everything. I mean, that's just what the human mind does. We romanticize everything. And of course, if he's a spiritual figure, a hero of the people, of course they're gonna romanticize it. I mean, I like the story. I like the whole thing. I mean, I like the one with the. If I were to tell the story, I'd always tell the one with the horse. That's how I would tell it. It's a fable. It's a story. It's just the same as every book you ever read. I love it. I love the idea. I like the idea of a hungry revenge ghost.
Well, if you're looking for an original story to make nowadays, make it on Netflix, make it on Amazon, this is a hell of a story because you got a king that did wars, the battle wars, and was killing too much women. And then, of course, you got this guy who didn't like it. The king kills him, and like you said, he's a hungry ghost. You could do a story of the 3 years being haunted until that white horse comes during that day, during all these people coming for a hunt and shooting with the red bow and arrow. I mean, that's a story right there, right?
Right through his, pierced him through his heart, to his thigh.
And I'm shocked that I've never heard of this until I was doing research to find something about this show alone, trying to find ghost stories, trying to find this, and I ran into a small paragraph about Tu Pu. I'm like, holy shit, this is interesting.
This is like the Chinese version of Crow.
Yeah.
It's the Chinese version of Crow. He's all like in fucking red, like a red leather, some kind of cool. He's like wearing something like this, Eric, something like this cool thing I have on right here. He's like this. And he's like, shoots it. Actually, I have one for a bow too. It's kind of cool. Anyway, it's a Chinese bow thing. Anyway, and he shoots that fucker. Takes him out clean. Shit. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yes. Like I said,
being exercised and he gets into another place.
Well, like I said, you have to be a powerful ghost. Not just, like I said, a powerful ghost to be able to pick up a bow and arrow, not just pick up. You gotta put enough pressure. Now, if it said it broke his spine, enough pressure to be able to pull that back. You gotta be a badass motherfucker, hungry ghost.
Well, remember they do ancestor worship, and so their ancestors can still do things. You gotta be. I was all over Asia. Remember, that I was all fucking every fucking place, man. All the islands, all the countries. I was all over the place, and you had to be careful, man. There's so many fucking traditional rules. Like, for example, I was in Japan, and you're an American, so you don't know any better. I try to learn everything as best I can, and I'm having a dinner with these Japanese people who invited me to eat with them. I got no shoes on, whatever. So I got chopsticks, and I'm fucking eating rice, dude. And so I get up to go to the bathroom, and I just kind of stuff my chopsticks into the rice. You can set it beside it. I didn't know where to put it. I don't know if it was rude. So I just kind of stuck them into the rice. I didn't stick them in, I just kind of slightly stuck them into the rice. And I excused myself, chatamate, tolenine tegaru. And he said, oh shit. They're all pissed off. I have to go to the bathroom? Sima Qian? They're like, no, they're pointing at my rice bowl. I left the chopsticks sticking up. I didn't know, but you can't leave chopsticks in rice, Eric, sticking up. That invites ghosts in. That's bad. If you take rice, and part of the thing, the guy put the sticks in the rice. He put the chopsticks in the rice. Now I know. If you put the chopstick in the rice vertically, like up and down, like the two chopsticks into the rice, all the way up on top, Eric, you put it in there like this, and you walk around with that bowl of rice with the two chopsticks sticking up out of it, you're inviting a fucking bad spirit. You're inviting ghosts to come eat. You're inviting ghosts to eat that rice. What? So do not ever stick your fucking chopsticks vertical in a bowl of rice. Do not do it. They will freak the fuck out. All the Japanese around them will fucking, all the Japanese will fucking freak out if you walk out with the bowl sitting on the table, you go to the bathroom with two chopsticks sticking straight up and down in it. You just invited a bad spirited, a hungry ghost to come in and eat with everybody. Well, I didn't know that. So you got to be careful with sticking chopsticks in rice straight up. And I was in East Timor, Indonesia, and if you got to take a piss, you freaked them out. But yes, I did. I didn't know it at the time. Now I know. Don't ever do that. I'm paranoid now. I don't do that.
You helped Suzanne out because Suzanne wrote, I didn't know that. I'll tell my daughter she's learning how to eat with chopsticks.
Yeah, do not. Look, do your own research.
That's important for Suzanne, because what if his daughter, eating with people who know the culture of the Chinese, might look at her like, no, chopsticks, don't go around.
They'll get pissed off. Do not leave your fucking chopsticks vertical straight up in a bowl of rice. You were inviting a hungry ghost to come eat. So you're just inviting them inside. So the idea is to get them out of your house. You want them out. Later, System Failure. Later, dude. Again, I was at East Timor, and I needed to take a piss. I needed to urinate. So I looked for a tree. They said, no. When you pee, you have to excuse yourself first to the ghost. I go, huh? So you got to say, excuse me, I'm going to urinate, if that's okay. And wait a couple of seconds for any signs. If you got no signs, then you can go ahead and urinate. But wherever you go in East Timor, if you urinate, you have to ask permission first. And there's nobody around you. You just have to do that. Because they say that there's a body buried everywhere. I'm like, what? There's a body buried everywhere. I said, so there could be a body there, and you don't know it, and you're just taking a piss, and you're going to piss off a ghost. So you have to ask permission to pee in East Timor, anywhere you go. They have outside bathrooms and pretty much the trees. So you got to ask permission. So you got to learn all these things because of ghosts. All these things are for ghosts, all spirits, because they're so serious, so serial about their fucking ancient ancestors still wandering around until they reincarnate. You've got to ask. They live on the same plane. You just can't see them. So you've got to ask their permission. So they live side by side with ghosts, Eric. They have to live with them. So they've got to always honor them. They've got to always practice these rules. They've got things they can do and they can't do because the ghosts live with them. True, man.
I'm curious. In America, if you need an exorcism, I guess you go to the church.
Yeah.
But I wonder in China, they have their own beliefs, not as like religious.
Well, Buddhist. They're called a Buddhist.
They use Buddhist?
Yeah, they use Buddhist monk.
I'm going to type that in just to look it up.
Yeah. In Japan, they'll get a Buddhist monk or a Shindo priest. So you get a Shindo priest or a Buddhist monk to exercise a dwelling. Mostly, like in China, they'll have a Buddhist priest. Do it. And they'll go in with they'll start making their little gong noises, and they'll walk around with the bowl. They walk around with the bowl of rice. They walk around. They do their little singing, and they do their bowl of rice, and then they place it outside the dwelling. And so the ghost follows them outside. I mean, that's pretty simple. And then they do incense outside. They do like a little mural outside with whatever. If they know who the ghost is, or they think they know what it is, they'll put like the picture outside and all the stuff outside, and then they'll honor.
That says Taurus's exorcism.
Oh, Taoist. Taoist. Yeah, Taoist exorcism. Wow.
Under rituals, exorcism, order, child's control. And then, of course, there's different exorcist types. Yeah, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but man, I'm not gonna read it. But yeah, I tell you what, they got the best picture: a girl painting from a Song Dynasty dismissing a mountain exorcism by Ergelin, restored by Xingzong to include color. Pictures of a exorcism right here.
Probably Taoist. That's way back when the Taoist priest. Well, they got mostly Buddhist, but yeah, even the Taoists have their own rituals. And remember, it don't matter what their religion is. The spirits still live with them side by side. They live in the same plane. They acknowledge it, but Europeans, we don't. People European, America, whatever, don't acknowledge them. They're dead. They're gone. They're gone. Bye. They went to heaven. Bye-bye. Nah, man, not them. They didn't go to heaven. They're hanging around for a little while. They got a little while. Their time is different, though, but they're hanging around until they lose all their energy and they dissipate until they finally reincarnate. Remember, they're all reincarnation.
Yeah, they're very strong in that reincarnation belief.
Yeah. And also, like in Japan, objects can be possessed, too. There's objects that can be possessed. Again, it depends on the object itself is possessed, or if you have a hungry ghost that's hungry for the object. You remember when the hungry ghost will be given an obsession that's it's nothing like gold or it's usually something bad. It's usually something mundane. It's just a box, a doll, something stupid, a game like a checkers game or a chess board, a chess game, or something they have to have hunger for. It's just obscure, something obscure. They're obsessed over it. It reminds me of Gollum. I think it was Gollum. He has the ring, and Lord of the Rings. Remember, he's like Gollum's like the ring. He's like that. They're like that obsessive. Like they go crazy. You go taking their shit.
Here's a definition of hungry ghosts right here. Hungry ghost is a concept in the Chinese Buddhism, Chinese traditional religion, Vietnamese Buddhism, and Vietnamese traditional religion, representing beings who are driven by intense emotional needs in an animalistic way.
Yeah, animist. They're animist. You know, all objects. There could be a tree. I mean, there could be an angry ghost that was hung in a tree or killed by a tree, and then when they're in their spirit world, they're protecting that tree. They're angry. They're hungry for the tree. You can't you touch that fucking tree or get near that tree, you're gonna find yourself tripping on your face. So a branch is gonna hit you. It's gonna fly off the tree. You know.
Well, here's the myth of origin. It's likely the idea of hungry ghosts originated from ancient Indian culture, okay,
India.
Where they were referred to as preta. However, there are many legends regarding the origin of hungry ghosts. In the Buddhist tradition, there are stories from Cha Ching, Paul Young Ching, Sota 100 Selected Legend is the early 3rd century. Some examples of these stories are as follows. So there's a bunch of stories. It goes back. I don't want to read all these stories. Sometimes you read too much. But here's an image. Of a Japanese scroll which describes the realm of hungry ghosts and how to place it them. Currently housed at the Keio National Museum, artist unknown. So they don't even know who drew this.
Blow it all the way up so everyone can see it real clear.
Here.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. They look obscure. Their faces are contorted. They don't look good.
Well,
our definition of a zombie, you know, they're like a zombie.
Like on the bottom left, these two almost look like creatures. Could look at these two ones on the bottom where it looks like their back is extended, where they're like walking like animals.
Yeah, they're contorted. They're not handsome. They're not beautiful. These are people that were ugly on the inside, and when they die, if you were like a money changer, a banker, I'm just giving examples, a horrible fucking human being that ruined many, many, many lives. You're just a bad fucking person. You're ugly on the inside, and when they die, that reflects. So they're walking around as a spirit, ugly on the inside. So yeah, my thing's going off. Right back. Ugly on the inside.
Well, you got, and what's interesting, you got the two in the bottom. You know, usually artists, there's meanings behind each person. Like, you know, the two in the bottom has red hair. Don't know if that's a meaning about.
That's
love.
Weird.
But then look, there's a woman that's painted blue shirt and she's smiling.
She might. Are these all hungry ghosts? Are these all hungry ghosts? Oh, these are just a mix between the two. You have two different ones.
Well, it says an image from a Japanese scroll which describes the realm of the hungry ghost, how to place it them. So this is supposed to be the realm of the hungry ghost.
No, they might remember they live on the same realm as humans. So a human could be standing right next to one.
Because you got a woman, like you said, you got a woman carrying water. She's all happy. But then you got, like you said, these ugly with the red hair color, probably the hungry ghost. That's among. And look, you got this one ghost above with the red tongue sticking out.
Well, they got to associate red hair with that. What the hell is that about?
there's a meaning behind, the coloring.
Yeah, but you just said it looks like you got the happy people on one side, the normal humans, and then then you got the hungry ghosts on the other side. But remember, there are regular ghosts. There's ghosts. There's ghosts that were good people, and they just walk around waiting to reincarnate, and so they're just enjoying life. They have in fact, a lot of them have they see a whole different world where it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. They're just compliant until they reincarnate. So it's a beautiful life if they have a good heart and they were a good person.
What did he say? That's right up Bob's alley. A red head and a blue female ghost and red tongues. Well, and if you look at the picture, you got this woman who looks like a nun that has those religion beads in her hands, worshiping a pole, and then you got a Buddhist that kind of looks like a priest.
Yeah,
with hands together with also religious beads in his hands.
Yeah, probably Shindo.
Now look,
I went to many Shindo festivals.
This woman looks more like an Indian right here on the left side of the pole with the longer hair in a braid.
Yeah. They look happy, though. They must be the happy ones. They're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are color red.
Yeah, remember, these are animists. So they're also Shinto, they're animist also. And people are like, what do you mean? What's an animist? Well, objects. Objects are alive. Objects, rocks, trees, buildings. It depends, man. A chariot could have a type of spirit that lives in it. Animist, everything's alive. Grass, the wind, everything is alive. Everything you think, everything is. Things that you a sword in Japanese culture is alive because the Japanese, Eric, back on the ghost thing, the Japanese were the first. Well, I think maybe the Vikings did too, but they started using carbon steel. That's their swords were made from carbon, and so they would have some of the ash from their grandfather or their father put into the sword to make the sword, to use their ash as the carbon. They use their ash as the carbon to make the sword. So the sword itself has the spirit of their father or grandfather in it. They're animist.
Now, this picture here is interesting because this is Gog Zushi Scroll, a hungry ghost. A guy could come in to shit-eating, watches a child wearing geta and holding a 12th century. Geki committed a shit-eating watches. That's kind of weird saying that, but there's something weird here, Bob. Now, I'm not trying to get like this picture is almost X-rated, but looks like this guy all the way to the left pulled down his pants. He's got a bare butt, about to sit down on this thing that kind of almost represents a penis.
What is it?
I'm serious. I'm not trying to be gross here.
Make it bigger. Make it bigger. There's something outside my window.
That's
There's something outside my window. You guys think I'm lying? I swear to God, there's something outside my window.
Guy has his he's bending over, and his butt showing, and there's like this dirt dildo looking thing. I'm not trying to be gross here, but look.
Well, he's a hungry ghost, so maybe that's his hunger.
About to have sex with this guy. I don't know if this is a meaning or it's just the way they drew it. I mean, it's kind of weird.
Maybe they consider that a
And look, Bob, if you go to the right, you got this one hungry ghost with the hair that's splitting in two, and there's a naked guy in front of him with his butt almost sticking to the ground.
Well, the way it's described is they're hungry for obscure things. So it's not whatever that thing is isn't good. So maybe they're all about the dung. Maybe these hungry ghosts are about the feces, the poo poo. You know, I'm just saying it would make sense. You know, it's like I said, it described it as corpses or rotting things or garbage. Like they'll become hungry for garbage. So even believe it or not, even in Islam, in Islamic cultures, they have what they call the jinn. Now the jinn is a different kind of spirit, but the jinn is like a hungry ghost where they're obsessed with garbage. Jinn will, if you could ask any Muslim or someone of Islam, hey man, where do the jinn hang out? They're going to say garbage. They're at the dumps. They hang around garbage. They're obsessed with it. So these guys are hanging around garbage. Probably the places where they relieve themselves. Probably the outhouses.
Well, apparently also hungry ghosts constantly seeks water to drink.
Yeah, because they're always hungry. They can't get any. They can't be satisfied. Because they were satisfied and greedy in life, they're not. They're hungry in the afterlife. They can't get enough of anything. It's got to be something obscure. Water, obviously, they can't get enough water, or they can't get enough poop. They can't get enough garbage.
Well, look at this one. This one's eating something red, like his mouth is wide open, and there's something red. And there's another hungry ghost that has like a sword that's on fire. That's about to chop this other hungry ghost.
Ugh, what a horrible life, man. Probably just it's hell on earth.
Yes.
It's not a hell in a place that's fire. They walk around on earth in the same plane as humans, but they got an insatiable hunger for something obscure like garbage and all that bad shit. And they're just constantly fighting each other. They're just it's hell on earth. What a way to live. What a way to live. I mean, theoretically, some of us could be dead and we're just spirits living with other people that are dead, but they could be like hungry ghosts. So like the elite are hungry ghosts, Eric, and you and I are just regular ghosts living our life.
Yeah. I really hope a lot of people actually learn a lot today, because I never really realized the word hungry ghost. If I would have heard hungry ghost, I would have just thought, I don't know, it's a name. The way you explained it and what it says here, God, there's more to a hungry ghost than I ever thought in life.
Well, this is Halloween, or this is October. So Eric, we're gonna be doing doing ghost stories, crazy stories, man. We're breaking it down for the people. This is October. This is the time. Now, I get a lot of Christians who are like, oh, but I'm pagan, so I want to enjoy, Samhain, and there's no evil in it. It's just all about talking. This is the month, guys, that we celebrate. We celebrate the passing, the people that passed away. Visit the graves this month. Put flowers on graves this month. Put up a little bit of a shrine for your father, your whatever family member you have. Put on some incense for them this month. This is the month, Eric. They walk around. They go door to door. This is it.
I just hope, we're going to be ending this soon. I just hope that some people watch this and learn a lot about the Tupu ghost, about revenge in the afterlife. Like Bob said, it's almost like the original Crow story.
Yeah.
Where he's revenge, and I would love to see this in some kind of a movie form, because I think it'd be interesting as freaking hell.
Right? It'd be cool.
It would,
Chinese crow. Tupu.
Now, people in the chat letting you know, tomorrow I'm not going to be doing a horror talk show tomorrow. That'll be Thursday. I got some things that I have to do tomorrow. I only got one day to do it. So I'm not going to be doing a show tomorrow, but Wednesday's normal. And then Thursday, I want to talk about the horror talk. I want to talk about the two movies, The Fog, the John Carpenter's The Fog, and actually where I actually enjoyed the remake of The Fog. So I think The Fog is such an interesting concept. I'd like to dive in deep, because if you think about original content, knowing that a fog comes in, and when it comes in, there's people within the fog that does harm.
Wow.
And I thought,
okay, good. This is Thursday. All right, cool.
Thursday, yeah, it gives us time. I have some things I got to do tomorrow that I just don't have time trying to squeeze something in. But But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something about the ghost of Tupu. I've learned a lot of discovering this story. And beyond that, man, I hope you guys all come back on Wednesday. And people, I'm serious about this. Help us out. Tell other people about this channel, because I'm going to try to dig deeper in finding stories that maybe we never heard of.
Yeah.
And hopefully to get these stories out there, you know, like this one. I found this story and I'm like, fuck. And then not a whole lot of shit about this story. And I thought this should be a story to be told. And if more people talk about these stories, you know, maybe one day, Bob, they'll ask you and I to do a real life documentary of this. You know, you and I could go to China and do a documentary. We'll volunteer for that.
Yeah. And this is the month for it, man. This is October. So, guys, this is the month, man. We got to be careful. There's zombies out this month. There's a lot of spirits walking around this month. So you really got to be honorable this month, man, especially this month. This is a crazy-ass month, Eric. You know it. Whew.
Oh, it is. And guys, people in the chat, if here's my email address. If you guys hear some kind of a story that you think that most people never heard of, please let us know. I want to start putting stories that we never heard of. Not just the locksmith monster, which we'll do one day, but stories that maybe we never heard of. So guys, beyond that, we are going to end the show. And I really hope you guys enjoyed today. And please spread the news. Go to my Instagram, subscribe to Instagram, subscribe to Twitter. Because if you guys subscribe to Twitter, and if you guys have your own following, maybe you can start retweeting our stories, retweeting this video, this show, to other people who might not seen it. So
do it before it's too late. Before it's too late. You guys need to do it before it's too fucking late, man.
Yeah, before the world
collapses. Save your lives.
And maybe we can all collapse with the world altogether.
Yeah, especially this month with the zombies.
Beyond that, I want to say goodbye and see you guys Wednesday.